Hello and welcome everybody. It is my pleasure to give you a warm welcome to the Visionary Leaders Convention recap call. And it makes me so happy to see all of you here live with us. This is the beginning of our weekly community call and podcast for the fall. We convene every Monday right here at 10 a.m. Pacific time for an enriching hour of essential oil education, classes, and deep dives into important health topics. We have an exciting lineup of topics and classes scheduled for the rest of the year, and I'll be sharing those details with you at the end of this call. If you're unable to join us live, don't worry. You can catch the recording on all the major podcast platforms, and we are also on YouTube. For more information and to subscribe to our email updates, visit us at hellovisionary.life. And we would be so grateful if you would take a moment of your time to give us a 5-star review, please, and thank you. So again, we extend our gratitude for your presence here today, and we hope you've had an enjoyable summer. I don't know about where you are, but in an instant, it is fall in Portland. We put our sweaters and our scarves on this weekend. I am Aisha Harley. I am a Doterra leader and one of the founders of the Visionary Leaders Collective. And today I am joined by the esteemed leaders, Dr.Josie Schmidt, maybe give us a wave, Ariana Harley, Lishan, Dr. Louise Rose, Claudine and Judith Maxey. And together we are going to do our very best to give you the highlights of the Doterra convention, which of course is difficult to do 3 days in an hour. So we have pulled out important topics to share with you, and know that we are going to do a deep dive into the topics we're sharing today, and we're going to share that schedule with you at the end of the call. So please grab your lavender. If you don't have lavender, you can grab something else around you. And I want you to put a few drops of lavender on your hand and rub the lavender together. And then I want you just to breathe the lavender in and place the lavender over your heart. And I want you just to close your eyes, just so you can go to the next slide. And I want you just to listen to these words of how we are going to open this call today. Emily opened the convention by recounting her profound experience of witnessing individuals transform and heal over the past 15 years. Her enthusiasm for the future and the promise of continued transformation resonates with us all. And she described Doterra as a forever company. Okay, bye-bye. We're driven by purpose, by people, and by plants. Emily took us on a journey into the world of plants with a special focus on lavender. So bring your hands up to your nose and take a deep inhalation of that lavender. Emily painted a vivid picture of a lavender seed. So just in your mind, imagine that lavender seed. The lavender seed is nurtured in a greenhouse, and when it gradually grows its strength until it's ready to brave the elements, it's transplanted into a vast field. It thrives, evolving into a mature, breathtaking plant. Yet in time, it's pruned down and it's reduced to a few sprigs. Consider for a moment, what might that resilient lavender plant pondered during those challenging moments of being cut down? Just feel that in your body, the lavender plant being cut back just to a few sprigs. It endures, it perseveres, and when it returns to full bloom, it emerges stronger than ever before. So much like the lavender, many of us have faced our own challenges and struggles over the last years. We've felt beaten down, scared, but remember, even in these moments, these can mark the genesis of personal growth and transformation. As wellness advocates with Doterra, As we heal individually, we play a vital role in the grander vision of this company, contributing to the collective healing that our world so desperately needs. So again, take another breath of that lavender and allow your own light to emanate from you, and allow this lavender to evoke healing in your own soul, in your own heart, and in your own body. And know that you are part of this healing mission. So again, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to embarking on this journey of transformation together. So you can go ahead and open your eyes. And with this theme of becoming, it means to become more of who you are on the inside. So next, we're going to go to that slide with Corey Lindley, who is the founding executive and CEO of Doterra. And he gave us a recap of where Doterra is today and where we are going as a company. If you are not aware, Doterra is a privately held company. We are the world's largest essential oil company with 15 million customers globally. Now, I realize that sounds like a lot, but in reality, it's not, and we are still rapidly growing. We have paid $6.6 billion in commissions. That's to all of our wellness advocates who share this plant medicine. That's many of us on this call. We have improved the lives of 3+ million people, and we have 4,400 corporate employees. Now, if this isn't amazing enough, look at where this company is going. We will become the world's largest direct selling company. We are targeting 50+ million customers globally, sharing the gifts of our plant medicine. We will be paying an additional $3+ billion in commissions and supporting 10+ million lives through our co-impact sourcing initiative and moving towards 10,000 corporate employees. As I've always liked to say, Doterra is a giant pot of gold, and there is plenty of gold for all. So this is all super exciting to be part of this company, whether you're using the essential oils, whether you're sharing them, whether you're doing this as a full-time business. There's massive healing and prosperity and abundance to be had. Please go to the next slide, Jess. I want to take just a moment to give a shout out to all of our leaders on our Visionary Leaders team, and a special shout out to Elisa Bonet, who walked as Gold and Diamond Club winner at our gala, as well as Julie and David, who were also celebrated as Golds. We always love to cheer you on and celebrate you at the gala. It's always such a fun time. And let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to pass the call on over to Judith Maxey, and she is going to talk about our farmers and our co-impact sourcing initiative.
Good morning, everyone. You know, that I think, as excited as I am about the new products, going to convention for me is getting inspired by just what Aisha was talking about. It's the love and care, the global impact that doTERRA is making, and to feel like I'm a part of that, that everyone is a part of that. And I'll be honest, and it's something that I don't tap into so much when I'm not at conventions. So I feel like I get this big burst of inspiration and movement in my heart for this company and for each of the oils when I get to learn what the impact is on a global level. And so, of course, there's not time in 3 to 5 minutes, which I have, to talk about all the areas that are impacted. But while you're at convention, I'm going to just do a little plug for going. You get to actually see and talk to, people come up on stage from all around the world, the farmers that are creating these oils with doTERRA. And I was telling Aisha that there's one thing in particular that really strikes me about doTERRA's co-impact sourcing program, and that's that they put an emphasis, especially in places like Africa. This was one of the examples that they talked about. And They don't work with large farmers. They don't work with large companies. They make an extra special effort, which is not the easiest effort, to work with small farmers, for those farmers that maybe have 1 acre or 2 acres. And so you get to learn the impact they're making on the ground in communities with each individual. And that is especially warming to my heart, as I grew up in an agricultural land and watched all small farmers pretty much get decimated in our own country. And of course, it's very different in other countries, but there's a larger transition in the world for small-time farmers. And so that Doterra is making that effort, which is sort of their MO, to do things from the heart, not always the easiest way, not always the best or easiest financial way, but they source what's pure, and their mission is to source from areas that will make an impact in the world. So going to convention for me, and I know we get to hear all about many of the products, but going to convention for me is really stepping into the co-impact sourcing programs and the healing hands. So if you want to learn a little bit more, actually, I'm going to go to the next slide about, well, let's just look at these numbers once again. I think these were on the ones previously, but again, sitting in the crowd and having on the stage $50 million donated to things like sex trafficking, to building hospitals in different areas and getting all that information. It's just amazing how many countries are supported, the wide reach of this company, and how many lives are improved. And I'll also say, from a personal level, I have a few clients that like to point out that doTERRA oils are a little more pricey than others. And we can talk about purity, we can talk about the research and all that, but it's also really important to be able to say what they do as, you know, their larger mission. And that is what was repeatedly mentioned at convention: helping the world heal, making an impact. And go to the next one, Josie. So one of the big reveals, one of the big exciting pieces of news is that you can now go as a diamond leader and take your team. They're not, you know, it used to just be co-impact sourcing trips, which are kind of hard to get into. You can go if you're a certain rank, and then eventually it's all lottery to go on these beautiful, planned with doTERRA staff, these co-impact sourcing. I think a number of you on the call have been to them. But there's now a new option, and that's the leader-led trips. And so all diamond leaders can plan their own trips. And right now it's Kenya, Bulgaria, and Hawaii, the Big Island. Woohoo for all those people coming in from Hawaii. I think on the website, they've taken Bulgaria down just for a moment while they're sorting out the details. But I just want to say Kenya, geranium, tea tree, thyme, and many other plants, that's what you would be focused on. So Hawaii, you can go to the Big Island on the Sandalwood Reserve, where they're sourcing sandalwood and nio. In Bulgaria, of course, is rose and a few other plants. But in these leader-led trips, you have a lot of flexibility. So you get to decide. You can actually create your own trip at the pace you want to go. There's spaciousness in the trips. You can plan masterminding, group team building. So it's really an exciting thing for all of our teams. And I got to speak a little bit with the folks from the reserve, and they have built a beautiful area to stay with cabin tents, and it's all inclusive. So you'll be brought up into the reserve and stay there for 3 to 5 days, whatever you choose as a leader. So what a beautiful experience to be one with all of those amazing plants. There's a particular grandmother sandalwood tree that's revered up there, and they've done it with such intentionality. So that's something that you can all look into. It's on the website. Just type in leader-led trips, co-impact sourcing trips. All right. Let me go one more. And then the next thing, thank you for adding this, Aisha. If you want to be able to talk about co-impact sourcing in an easy way with your customers and your team, we now have a downloadable impact guide, and it will give you all the resources and the language to be able to talk to people about co-impact sourcing. So not everyone needs to go to convention. You don't have to recap convention for your customers and your team members, there's a beautiful way to talk about and lead people to all of the information, and really to talk about it at a business level and to improve your business by being able to share the compact sourcing, this part of doTERRA. And I think you can get, it's scannable, you can get that there. It's also on the web. And I think that's about it. I am going to pass the call to Lori. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Isn't that so exciting? Oh my gosh. And I could not agree with you more. The heart of doTERRA, when you are at convention, you truly see it. And it's just so great to be part of this. I love it so much. I was so that Blue Lotus is now one of our permanent oils. I love Blue Lotus so much. The oil of our highest potential. So this flower is one of the most sacred plants in the world, and the ancient Egyptians considered Blue Lotus to be the sacred plants of the gods. They carved pictures of the Blue Lotus on their tombs, temples, and pyramids. And it's this beautiful symbol of starting, just that each day is a new day. The beautiful flower, it opens in the morning, and then the blue shines up to the sky, and it symbolizes the blue sky greeting the sun. It symbolizes rebirth and just to be the best version of ourselves. So Emily Wright shared this story. It took a while to find this oil. So she had been very passionate about trying to find pure Blue Lotus because everything on the market and everything out there was synthetic. And about 4 years ago, they found someone in China who could help us produce this. So yeah, they searched all over the world for this. And then they found partners in rural China in Guangdong province. This was in 2019. And as you know, some of us were able to get some of this oil because they were able to produce a very small amount. But now we have the only exclusive pure Blue Lotus essential oil in the world. So it is an amazing oil. And because of this oil in China, currently, we're just starting to produce this. We're able to help 92 people have jobs in that area, and then able to help 285 lives be supported and provide clean, safe, and ethical work environment for people in that area as well. And yes, a fun fact that just went up, the 1 ton of petals equals, it takes 1 ton of petals to equal 1 kilo of Blue Lotus Absolute. So it takes a lot of petals to source this beautiful, amazing oil. And go to the next slide. And yes, so it took 4 years to get this beautiful oil. It provides a relaxing floral aroma. It's beautiful. I love to apply it over my heart. And then it's also, this was new to me. I didn't realize that it is also a really great skin moisturizer. So when you get to learn more in our classes about skincare, you're going to learn about the Blue Lotus and how it acts. It kind of acts like collagen. It's really beautiful. And I've been applying it since we got it last week, and I learned about that, and I'm already seeing a difference in my skin. And it also, it's just a really beautiful, energetic oil to use. So super excited for that. So Josie is going to tell us about the other exclusive oil.
All right. Thank you, Lori. Yeah. You know, I have this, I had a face caviar recipe, and it keeps changing as we get more oils. And I, of course, never stay still. I like to experiment. And I am so excited for Blue Lotus to now be one of the floral bases for my skin caviar, for sure. So that's a really fun thing to do. We should have a DIY face caviar class, and there's no recipe, there's just the concept, and then we all make our own depending on what we love, and we talk about why we're choosing what we're choosing. So that's a good idea. All right, I'm moving on to birch, y'all. Okay, so this was excited. So bringing on, we've had this only in our convention kits, and now we do have it as a regular, not an LTO limited time oil or order. And so I want to talk about birch though as a example and sort of what doTERRA is doing and has been doing and what they do in a sense. So this is the world's first commercially produced 100% pure birch essential oil. And this story kind of is the quintessential essential oil story of what is going on with adulteration in the marketplace and in the world, and how doTERRA is doing things so differently. So as I'm talking about birch, know that I'm not just talking about birch, okay? So in that sense, so as we go on, as they went and they tested on the market 27 birch oils that were currently available. And in that testing, they found that none of the available, conventionally available oils that were marketed as birch, 0 of them actually contained an pure birch. What they did contain, there were 13 that were just pure wintergreen oil. And I'm going to explain that for a second because it goes into a little bit of the science. Again, this is this concept story about all of our oils. So 13 were wintergreen oil, not birch. And 7 were a combination of wintergreen and then added in the synthetic methyl salicylate. What does that mean? You know, a lot of times we talk about this idea that there are main constituents, like they're the ingredients, right? They're the main things in the oils that are their medicinal compounds. It's linalool and lavender and lavender. It's methyl salicylate in both wintergreen and in birch. And so that's what they do is the pharmaceutical companies will find a herb. They'll find the main constituent that they think is the most important. They'll extract that, and then they will synthesize it in a lab. So that's what we mean by when we say things are adulterated with constituents that are not pure, but are actually synthetic. So you have 7 that were some real wintergreen and some just pure synthetic methyl salicylate from a lab. And that's one of the most common ways that all oils are adulterated. Like if you take lavender, they'll be adulterated because they'll add in extra synthetic linalool to their lavender oil. Okay, and then there were 6 that were just pure methyl salicylate, the synthetic isolate. So it's an isolated compound. It's called a synthetic isolate. And 1 was just wintergreen and carrier oil. So there was the range of all these 27. So as you go on with this story, here's a picture of some of the oils that they were testing. So if anyone wants to kind of get a bird's eye view of all of some of the stuff that's out there, this is just some of them. It's not all 27. So in this story, when we start talking about what is a synthetic isolate like methyl salicylate, it is literally, you can have a good one, which was that it is actually taken out of the herbal plant and then it's synthetically produced, or you can have it that they don't even start with the real plant, that it's synthesized from either petrochemicals, and that's what they're beginning, and then they make the methyl salicylate from that, or expired aspirin. Aspirin is actually supposed to be a pure synthetic isolate. That's right. That's how it starts. It comes from the birch trees, and you isolate it out, and then you synthesize it. Now, the thing is, in the way that we test essential oils in their purity, we have MS, mass spectrometer, and GC is mass spectrometer and gas. What is it? Wait, I'm even forgetting gas spectrometry and so MSGC. These are our testing machines. They're looking at things, and you really need to know a little bit about organic chemistry to understand what they are doing. This is why when you go to med school, they make you take a full year of organic chemistry and you never use it again, but they make you understand these basics because it's really important in medicine about this. So you can't in testing for essential oils, you cannot find out if something is methyl salicylate or pure birch. Why is that? Because methyl salicylate has no chirality. That's what I'm talking about. I know this is a little bit much when I talk about organic chemistry. It just means a mirror image. That's what chirality is. When you have your hand, you have this, you have this. It's the same O, double bond O, OH. It's the same molecule, but it's a mirror image. And guess what, folks? This makes all the difference in the world. All the difference. It's the difference between having a disease and not having a disease in the body. So you don't have and so that's what happens when oil is rancid. It's all of the same ingredients, it's just its chirality has done this, it's flipped, and that's it. And you have to be able to detect that. You cannot detect this in that's what mass spec does when you're doing that kind of testing. And methyl salicylate has no chirality, so they don't have a way in their general testing of purity of essential oils to tell the difference between methyl salicylate and true birch. I know this is a lot of information, but I know there's some geeky people out there that kind of like this and want to understand more about what we're doing with oil. So I had to put this in here. Okay. So, but doTERRA doesn't just do mass spectrometry and gas chromatography. There it is. The word came out. Those are two different tests. They do carbon-14 analysis. I don't think any other essential oil companies do carbon-14 analysis. That's the only way you can actually detect the difference between methyl salicylate and true birch. So you have to do much more testing than the average essential oil company to detect this. And they did. So here's this example of they are similar chemistries, but they don't have that chirality, and you have to have advanced expensive testing to tell the difference between these two oils. And we could have Claudine come on. I don't know if we got the time. We should do a call about what's the difference. Why does it matter? What's the difference between wintergreen? I got my wintergreen and birch. Why do I even care about birch? Oh my goodness. If you have any discomfort in your body around a joint or a muscle or a thing like that, you know the difference between birch and wintergreen. Wintergreen's great, and then birch is all that much better. Okay, we'll talk about that in another time. So it's extremely inexpensive to create birch oil synthetically in a lab, and to get true birch oil is extremely difficult to distill. No one else on the planet is doing this, y'all. They found they had to go to Pennsylvania, my home state. I'm a Steelers girl, Pirates. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They got to go to Pennsylvania to find this. And this is this old guy, Grant Skip Kavanagh, literally that old knowledge from back in the day, knowing how to distill these trees and this essential oil from birch. And they searched and scoured, and he was able to bring this to them. And they worked a long time. Here's some example of some of the different distillations they were doing with Skip and trying to come out with getting the exact kind of medicinal levels they wanted, and working with it, and him knowing what it was supposed to be like from his knowledge from literally generations past, and finally coming out with this beautiful pure birch oil. So here's doTERRA's Esoterra. So they created an Esoterra distillery in Pennsylvania with Skip and his people, and this is what is creating birch for us. So we advance science for the innovative use of essential oils. That is what is going on with doTERRA and Esoterra. It was really beautiful and exciting to hear this story and know that it's happening all around in everything that doTERRA does. So here is our birch oil. It is it's 59 wholesale. And I don't think we have time for a testimonial, but maybe at the end we can talk about why we're so excited about adding birch in. So I would love to hand it over to, I believe Ariana is next, and she is going to speak with us about the new sleep system. There is a whole sleep system. So please, Ariana, take it away.
Thanks, Jose. I would just like to invite everyone to join our upcoming A to Z call. We are actually covering Birch on the next call, so maybe we can add some testimonials.
Thank you, Ari. That's where you're gonna do it.
And
I
Jose
knew
will
it.
be
I
on
knew
that
it was coming. I
call.
couldn't remember.
Claudine, I hope you can be on that call. So please join us and we'll talk more because, you know, we can geek out about these oils. But now let's move to sleep. So, you know, when I grew up, I worked in the production advertising industry, and there was this like hero badge of, you know, rolling into work and saying, I only slept 2 hours and look at me, I'm still working. And I think in our culture, we have had this idea that everything else is more important than sleep. There's a saying that's, you know, is something like, why sleep? I can do that when I die, right? I would like to, if you have that mentality, a bit of a workaholic mentality like I used to, I would like to invite you to change your thinking on this. Sleep is not just good for our babies, which we know, and our children and our teenagers. We all need it. It's so important. And as you can see from this slide, it helps with cellular repair, healthy weight, lowered health risks, reduced stress, improved decision making. And I wanted to just read the statistic. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, about 30% of us, that's a lot, manage fewer than 6 hours of sleep a night. I am giving a shout out to all the new parents with newborns. I know you're probably in that crowd. And it really should be between 7 and 9 hours. 7 and 9, friends. So not just 9 hours for your babies and children, for you too. And with a staggering 50 to 70 million Americans struggling with insomnia or sleep disorders, it's not surprising that it's being hyped as a major epidemic. And it's not without consequences. Lack of sleep can have big time effects, as we saw from that past slide, on our health. If you're trying to lose weight, I would really consider how much are you sleeping. Also getting sick easily, your immune system can be compromised, aging before, you know, premature aging, memory loss. I know that if I don't sleep, anyone else with me, like I'm just a mess. I can't even talk. Like, I'm like, oh, what was that word? Especially as I get older. And the long-term effects to your health are way more serious, with high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, and that's just to name a few. So I really hope that I impressed upon you that we all need to work on our sleep hygiene. And so Doterra came out with some new products. You are familiar with the Serenity, so that is not new to us, the Serenity oil, but we also have the Serenity Sleep Stick, which is our new product. And then they also added an ingredient to our Serenity soft gels, which I will talk about in a minute. So let's talk about the Serenity Sleep Stick. What is added is the Serenity oil, so that's there, and then they're adding just to the sleep stick valerian, which if you're an herbalist and familiar with herbs, you're probably familiar with valerian. It has a very, very long use in the medicinal community for calming the nervous system and helping with sleep. More research is needed, but valerian root may impact the body in a variety of ways. For example, the iridoids, forgive me if I said that, mispronounced that, found in valerian root may act as anti-inflammatories and inhibit the expression of specific genes. And studies of mice suggest that valerian root can ease pain in the body through flavonoids, which inhibit the creation of nitric oxide. So I wanted to mention that about valerian. It, I know, isn't specific to sleep and what I just told you, but I wanted to cue you in. The Serenity Stick is good for more than just sleep, my friends. If you are a person like me that likes a little extra support on their joints and in their body to just feel good, use this stick and then put this on and then layer with Deep Blue. And that's going to also help with your pain in your body. So Serenity Stick, we know that lavender, there's many studies on lavender helping with the sleep cycle. When I was reading studies, this whole system really helps with not waking up. So if you're a person that falls asleep, but then you wake up often through the night, this can help you sleep longer. And then I have even more studies on valerian root, but I know we are pressed for time, but I just want to say with valerian, it also affects the GABA receptors. That's a neurotransmitter in the brain. And it is also really, really great for feelings of anxiety. So I would bring this in for any teenagers, family members, yourself, anybody who's having more extra stress, maybe stress with the new year. You can also use this in the daytime if you just need to calm down. It's not like a sleeping pill and it's just going to knock you out. It's just going to calm the nervous system down. So moving on, we can now move to that next slide. The way that we use it, just as an FYI, I have mine here. You probably saw you're going to rub it on the back of the neck, on the pulse points on the wrists. You can put it on the bottom of the feet, but don't forget to smell it. And then let's talk about the Serenity soft gels. So the biggest addition to those, all of these ingredients, doTERRA specifically chose for sleep and calming the nervous system: L-theanine, lavender, lemon balm, passion flower, and chamomile. All are phenomenal. You can look up, just Google in, if you want to get nerdy about the science, Google in PubMed or research on any of these and sleep. But I want to specifically mention the tart cherry because that's the new addition. And tart cherry, when I was looking at research on that, has been shown to contain melatonin and also naturally encourage melatonin production in the brain. And you guys, this is so important because there's all of this melatonin gummies and stuff. My sweetheart actually takes them because he has trouble sleeping, and they're great occasionally, but it is not meant for long-term use. And so I would say try the Serenity soft gels, and this would be a safer option for long-time use. I also want to mention, when we were in convention, there was a piece of information I think is really important. So when they studied lavender, if you take it like one soft gel and you are an insomniac and it's the first night, you might not see a huge result. And that's because the lavender actually takes quite a few weeks to build up in your system, but it will help you sleep and help calm the body. So think of the lavender as, I was kind of thinking of it just like SSRIs, when they tell you, you take them for a duration of a few weeks and it really changes the neurochemistry and gets the body aligned. I would think of it in a similar way where, use the Serenity and commit to it if you're having trouble sleeping for a few weeks. And so I hope you're excited about that. I am super excited. And let's see. More studies. I'm just looking over my notes about tart cherry. It's good stuff. It's really good for the brain, really good for sleep. And also tart cherry is phenomenal for inflammation in the body as well, just as a little side benefit. And so you can take the soft gels before bed or any time of high stress. And then really the system is meant to be used together. So here's a lovely couple asleep. You're going to diffuse the Serenity in the diffuser by your bed. I want to really emphasize, there was this, Dr. O shared something with us, and it was actually not about Serenity. He was using a different blend, the forest bathing blend, the Shinrin Yoku blend. But I just wanted to say it because of the impact of diffusing, and sometimes we can take that for granted. His cortisol levels dropped 40% in one night from diffusing that blend while he slept. Now, if we look at the ingredients in the Serenity, we know that that's going to help our bodies. So I know that's not a completed trial study, but that definitely inspired me to really turn on that diffuser by the bed at night. It's such a passive way to support the whole body system. So we're going to add the Serenity to the diffuser, use a sleep stick on our pulse points, and then take that Serenity soft gel. And I think that completes my presentation. I'm going to hand it off to Claudine, and she's going to talk about our Restore system. And I hope you're inspired to sleep better.
Thank you, Ariana. That's great. I mean, we all know that sleep is that foundation of our health as well. And I'm going to be actually talking about the other new products that are wonderful for rounding out your overall wellness. And we're going to talk a bit about your microbiome. So your microbiome is like this huge invisible organ, which involves more than just your gut. I always thought microbiome was really just talking about my gut, but it's really anywhere that the body has contact with the outside world, including like your lungs and your urogenital tract and things like that. So each of those microbial communities communicate and help support your cells and your vital organs, which are really foundational for your systemic health. So 70% of your immune system is in your gut. And we found that microbiome diversity declines with age. So think of it, your microbiome kind of like a garden, where bacteria and viruses and things like that from different plants and insects help make your garden flourish. The microbiome plays an incredibly important role in your health. It helps you to digest your food, absorb your nutrients. It kind of helps break down those dead leaves in your garden and helps those nutrients actually get into your soil. Same way with your microbiome. So ironically, 75% of the world's food comes from only 12 plants and 5 animals. I thought that was just pathetic, to say lack of a better way of putting it. You know, of the 250,000 to 300,000 known edible plant species, humans only use about 150 to 200. And like I said, 75% of us use way less than even that. So diversity in your microbiome equals health. So choosing a really good quality supplement that has diversity of strains and species, know the origin of where those come from, make sure it is backed by science, that it's got the potency that you require, and survivability and viability. So when you take that capsule, is it going to where you need it to go to in your body to give you the best benefits? So introducing PB Restore, which is replacing our previous cyst. This is going to be wonderful for digestive health and gut barrier integrity. Like I mentioned, micronutrient absorption, healthy metabolism, respiratory health, dermatological health, oral health, and it may also support your cardiovascular health and your urogenital I almost got that, urogenital health, plus brain and DNA function as well. So our PB Restore has 30 bioactive components and 18 billion active live CFUs. So again, we're going for that really great diversity that our body needs. The other thing I really love about PB Restore is it has both probiotics, prebiotics, and postbiotics. So prebiotics, just a really simple, it's a simple way of thinking of it is like food or fuel for your probiotics. The probiotics are like tiny factories within your body that produce beneficial nutrients like folate, your vitamin B1, B2, B12, and more. So they're kind of like your tiny superheroes. And then your postbiotics are substances made from your probiotics that deliver the benefits long after your probiotics have passed through your digestive tract. So this picture just makes me happy. I mean, it's colorful. Everybody's happy. When your microbiome is happy, everything else in your body is happy. So for those that like to geek out on the strains, here's a slide that shows the 30 bioactive components, the 24 probiotic strains from 22 different species, again, going for diversity in our probiome products. I liked this slide. It might be a little hard to see, so feel free about taking a picture and blowing it up if you want. Some of the other more popular products that are on the market, like Culture and Align. I know I see a lot of commercials for those. Note how many total strains our Restore has comparative to the other brands on the market. Notice how many different species. I mean, the next closest in number of species is 12 to our 22. Also notice we have the postbiotics and phages in there. And we ensure that it is gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee, which I thought was really great as well. If you want to advance, there we go. I want to point out on this slide that price per serving is only $1.55 a day. I am telling you, you can't afford not to have this in your daily regimen. I mean, that's way less than a coffee at your local coffee shop. I mean, and coffee isn't necessarily great for your digestive process. So love on your gut some, love on your total body by investing in that $1.55 a day with PB Restore. All right, so PB Assist Plus, this is going to replace the PB Assist Junior. So this one has additional strains that support the microbiome. It has 13 probiotic strains, which are different from those that are in the Restore, to deliver the maximum diversity to anybody taking both. So it actually has double the strains from the previous PB Assist Junior. It is safe for adults as well as children. So if you happen to be one of those individuals or know those individuals that have trouble swallowing pills, and we're taking PB Assist Junior, but maybe not quite getting all the results they really needed from it, know that this new PB Assist is going to be wonderful for them. It's not quite as sweet as the other, but it still tastes fantastic in that strawberry melon flavor. So it's going to benefit your overall digestive health, providing digestive comfort. It's going to promote a healthy gut microflora, healthy inflammatory response. Also, we know when we love on our microbiome and our gut, it's great for our skin. Think about health from the inside out. Wonderful. It's supporting a healthy immune system. And like I mentioned, it's good for supporting supports childhood health and healthy nervous system development as well. So how to use is you can take one of the PB Restore complex a day just prior to a meal. You can pour the PB Assist powder straight into your mouth, kind of like a pixie stick, or you can mix it if you need to with like yogurt or some other kind of cold food, maybe a smoothie. We do recommend taking the supplements with a meal. That's when your digestive system is the most active, which will move the probiotics through your stomach's harsh environment at the pace required for the encapsulation technology to do its job. So if you take them at another time, let's say before bed, which honestly I was doing for a while, and it was like, that's why I'm mentioning this. I didn't realize that I wasn't allowing it to do its job as good as it could. Because if you take that supplement when your stomach is more idle, the stomach acid, it'll sit in the stomach acid for too long and not give you the benefits that you need from it. So I'm super excited about the PB products that are out. I know we have our upcoming A to Z call on October 16th, where we will be deep diving into this. But if you want to also expand on your training, go to training.doterra.com or scan this QR code for a free training course that will help you expand your knowledge. And they also have some really great workbooks in there that help you kind of look at what you're currently using and other ways that you can improve your microbiome. So, all right. I think that's the end of me. I think at this point, I'm going to toss it back over to Dr. Josie, and she's going to talk about Shinrin Yoku a little bit more, the new Restore products, the electrolytes, and the Superman toothpaste.
Thank you, Claudine. That was fantastic. And Ariana, all right. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to go a little bit fast through this, but oh my goodness, You guys, look at this statistic. This really, there was a couple of the statistics that really spoke to us, and this was one of them. The Americans spend 93% of their time inside. And then they told us that was a stat from 1992. Wonder what it is today. So there is, in Japan, there is a concept called forest bathing, if you haven't heard of it, and it's very well researched. And they actually, I didn't include the slide of the research papers and all of the work that so many different scientists in Asia and Japan have been doing on this concept of why do, when we go to the forest, does our blood pressure and our cortisol and all of these things normalize, and that we feel this connection, and all these things that we're trying to achieve in other ways, we actually are so much easier in the forest. So they've been researching all of that, and they looked at the different chemicals, constituents, things like this. And this is this very much informs doTERRA's blend, this new blend called the forest bathing blend, Shinrin Yoku. So they didn't just kind of sit there and go, I wonder what kind of smells like a forest. Let's put these things together and that might smell good. No, that's not what they did. So there's a lot of research behind what is in this blend and why it is in the blend. And I did include it. Here it is. Here's some of all the different slides that then the different scientists they collaborated and worked with and kind of coming up with this idea. And we took out, yeah, we did. What I did take out was the geeky slide on the constituents. So there's the different constituents that they were actually looking for when they combined, looking for the different ones. It is so beautiful. We are all loving it. So it comes in a 15 ml for diffusing, and then a touch blend for rolling on and having while you were there. And again, Dr. O shared with us, he does a lot of testing. He was diffusing it at night and his cortisol levels went down tremendously, as did his blood pressure. I'm going to go back for a second so we can see, you can get another glimpse at the oils inside of this blend. Our lemon, patchouli, magnolia, Siberian fir, cypress, cardamom, hinoki, which is a tree, Japanese tree, lavender, grapefruit, geranium, and a lemon petitgrain, which is a little bit different. It's very tree-ish and very lemony together. So please check out this beautiful blend. We're very excited about it, as are, but when we were sitting, so before I talk about the electrolytes that are coming, when we're at breakfast and one of the meals that we're before the first day, we were like, what would you most like the new products to be, before we knew what they were? And we were asking everybody and going around. And I actually said, I would love some kind of electrolyte, powder or mix, because I buy that. I have other people buy that. That's something that, I'd love to be purchasing within doTERRA. And here we are. Y'all, we do not have enough minerals. There are the natural vitamins and minerals in the LLV, in the microplex. We need more, and we need to be drinking it, and we need that calcium, potassium, and chloride blend just living, sweating. But if you're exercising at all, if you're saunaing at all, you need more. You need a lot of it. As you get older, it's one of the things that starts showing up is electrolyte depletion and mineral depletion. So this is an incredible blend. I'm still getting to know it. There's stuff in here that I don't know why it's in there. So it's kind of exciting. I get to explore. It's a liquid, and you do it in about 16 to 24 ounces of water. It is delicious. We're all really liking it. Here's the big slide. We can see, so the things that I'm going to research more is this baobab. Why is that in there? I don't know yet, but I'm really excited about this idea of deep ocean minerals. There's kind of minerals that you get here, but then out in the deep ocean, they're different, and we like that basically. There's ginseng, there's of course calcium, hold on, moving my thing, sodium, potassium, chloride, and magnesium. Those are the electrolytes that we want balanced, and then we want to be adding in some also minerals. So we will be talking about this more. Unfortunately, if you didn't go to convention, you don't get to try it out until January. So this will be released January. And then a couple extra things. I think we've talked about that they came out with a new, it's the same base of our wonderful toothpaste, but now it's with super mint. We love super mint. We love that blended mint formula. So you can have the On Guard kind of cinnamon-ish toothpaste, or you could have a super mint, and you can either one or both. So that's exciting. And okay, I think I'm handing it over to Aisha to tell us how we can get this, what our schedules are like, all the kind of wrapping up details that people want to know.
Yay, team. We have a couple minutes left. I might just go a few minutes over, but we're almost done. If you can hang out with us for these last few minutes, thanks to all of our presenters. I love it. I love getting the recap too. It's so helpful. So next month, you can actually purchase the convention kit. It will be available October 1st. And if you buy everything all together, it is an 82.50 savings. So that's super helpful. And then I would recommend getting it because you get all these products except the electrolytes won't be in there, but it's a really good way to get all of it is a discount. And then otherwise things are released. Julie actually has on the chat the release of when everything will be coming out otherwise. Go to the next slide, Jose. So there's also our Reclaim Your Health event. So you can go to the website and look to see if there's a Reclaim Your Health event near you. If you are a leader and you want to schedule your own event, you can do that as well. And there will be additional discounts and offers at these events. So keep a lookout for that. Next slide. And we all want to make sure that you are aware, whether you are, if you're just a customer using these products, you can share a referral link with a friend. And when they purchase or when they enroll, you actually get Doterra dollars, and you can earn up to 599 Doterra dollars. This is how much you can earn before getting taxed. That's why it's 599. And go ahead and go to the next slide, because what's really cool about this is that you could literally get all of your holiday shopping paid for. So when you log into your back office, a little box pops up and it says refer a friend, and you can grab your referral link. And that's a really great thing to share on social media and just share with friends and family. So we want to make sure that you're all aware of that, and then you can go in and use those points to cash in for whatever you want with Doterra. And there's a QR code down there at the bottom. If you want to scan that, that will give you more information. Let's go to the next slide. We also want to make sure that you all know that we have our Doterra leadership, and it is going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, which is very exciting. It's going to be the end of February into March. And you can take a screenshot of those qualifications. I'm not going to read them right now for time. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next slide. And we also will post this on our Visionary Leaders Facebook page. And then next year, the pre-sale for convention tickets is over. However, do save the date. The tickets will go on sale again in the spring, and the dates next year are September 18th to 21st. And it's wonderful to watch convention online. It's wonderful to get the recap, but there is really nothing like being together as a community in Salt Lake City. So you have an entire year to save, to plan, to rearrange your life so you can join us. So please put that on your calendar now and join us in Salt Lake City next September. Next slide. So we wanted to give you this quick overview. We're really excited. We meet every Monday at 10 a.m. on Zoom. And then, like I said, these calls are recorded and put up on the podcast channels. But this is our schedule for the remainder of the year. And if you want, go ahead and take a screenshot of this. And again, I will post this on the Facebook page. But I want to just highlight a couple of things. The first Monday of every month, we are going to do an oils made simple is basically your Oils 101. We title it Oiled Simplified, Your Path to Natural Wellness. This is a intro class that will be taught by different leaders to invite brand new people to come and learn about essential oils. It's also, if you are sharing doTERRA, it's a really great way to learn how to talk about our products. So be aware that we're going to have this class, and then we're also going to do a Meta Power class. So we're super excited about that. You'll see those highlighted in orange. The second Monday of the month is our Oils A to Z. And that's the deep dive with Ariana and her team of doctors. And they'll be doing a deep dive into birch, into blue lotus, into the Shinrin Yoku blend. And then we're also really excited to announce on the third Monday of every month from 5 to 6 p.m., we are going to have a Visionary Leaders Business Laser Coaching call. So if you are sharing doTERRA, if you are building a business, this is a time to hop on, grab your tea, and we're going to talk everything business, bring your questions, and allow us that have been doing this for a long time to give you some coachings and insights on how to build your own successful business. So please mark your calendars, again, the third Monday of every month from 5 to 6. And then I believe it's on the first Monday of every month, there is the Share Success business call. So we strategically put this on the third Monday, so you can get on that Share Success call and then come to our laser coaching. We are then also going to have some deep dives into these topics. So mark October 16th, Dr. Josie and her team are going to do a deep dive into the PB Restore and microbiome. And October 23rd, they're going to do a deep dive into the Serenity Sleep System. And then we're also going to do a deep dive the end of November into the holy oils and frankincense. So just want to give you kind of an outline so you can plan accordingly, invite accordingly. And again, we always love it when you join us live. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so I want to close this call with the beautiful words of Natalie Goddard. She's one of the leaders with doTERRA, and she gave a lovely, lovely, heartfelt talk at convention. And the way that she opened up her talk really landed deeply with me. And so again, if you're open to just closing your eyes and taking these words in, these are the words of Natalie Goddard. I believe we were born to love and be loved, and doTERRA just happens to be the most powerful vehicle we have found to send out love and let it flow back to you multiplied. What we do in doTERRA is not just business, it is an embodiment of love. When we share health and wellness products, we are sharing love. When we recognize the leadership potential in others, we are showing love. When we believe belief into a leader, we are extending love. And when we are mentoring them to success, we are nurturing them with love. We are love. You are love. As a community, we share love, we teach love, we give love, and we deeply love you all. You are the reason that we are all here, and we are so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. You are important and you are needed, and we deeply, deeply love you. So as we started this call with, and with that beautiful words from Emily Wright, let go of who you think you're supposed to be so you can become who you truly are. Now is really, truly the time, and you are all so needed. So thank you all for joining us live. It just warms our hearts to be with you here and to kick off our fall schedule of our monthly gatherings. Again, thank you to all of our amazing speakers. We truly are a community, and we cannot do this alone. So I'm so deeply grateful for all that each of you that each of you bring and that each of you contribute. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. And with that, we are going to call that a wrap. So we'll look forward to seeing you all next Monday. And that will be the kickoff of our basic oil class. So please join us for that. Okay, see you later, everyone. Bye-bye.